Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our session on maximizing efficiency and innovation of your Edtech platform with AWS Cloud. I'm Kamini, your host for the day. A special thanks to all of you for joining us today. We have a fantastic audience here with representatives from Edtech companies of all size and specialties. The education sector is experiencing a rapid digital transformation, and Edtech platforms are at forefront of this change. But keeping the pace with evolving market demands can be challenging, especially when it comes to infrastructure limitation. That's where the power of clouds come in. Today's session will explore how migrating your EdTech platform to AWS can help you achieve greater efficiency, enhance innovation, and ultimately deliver a more engaging and effective learning experience. To guide us through this exciting topic, we have a team of industry experts with us. We have Abhishek Gupta, Business Development SMB for South and West region from AWS, who will discuss the benefits of AWS powered education transformation and how AWS can help you achieve your specific goal. Then we have Suraj Shinde, an AWS Cloud consultant at enreap. And finally, we have WaveHub, who will take you through the special offer for the day. I welcome all the speakers for the session today. Throughout the session, we will have interactive polls, plenty of Q&A, plenty of time for Q&A session, so you can participate and ask queries. I won't be taking much of your time. Without further delay, I would hand it over to Abhishek to start with the session. Over to you, Abhishek.
Thank you, Kamini. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Hope everybody is feeling fresh post lunchtime. I know you have got us some time from your busy schedule. So thank you for giving us the opportunity. So before I start getting into the slides and presentation, a quick intro. So my name is Abhishek Gupta. I am with AWS for about 4 years plus now. From day one, I have been into the education industry, focusing into institutions and edtechs. So before COVID, to COVID, and post COVID, right? So I've seen a bit of transition in terms of what has gone through the industry, in the particular industry, what I wanted to mean, and what all the changes that we have seen, some were expected, some were unexpected, right? So I know most of you who have joined today's webinar are associated on the education or edutech line. So you know your business more than me. So I'm not trying to convince anything on that line, but I will share the experiences that I have seen, a kind of a trend that I have gone through in the recent past, and what changes I'm seeing right now. So that's how I would like to write this brief few slides with you guys today. And yeah, if anytime you have any questions, you can raise your hand or put your questions on the chat, and I will be more than happy to try to answer them as best as I can, right? So moving ahead, so this is the presentation agenda that I wanted to set for today. As I mentioned earlier, I just wanted to talk about the trends. Then obviously, out of the competition, what advantages AWS holds, why you should choose AWS or think of considering AWS, I should rather say. And then what we are doing in the market to stay ahead of the curve in terms of the innovation, in terms of the new latest solutions, and so on. I also wanted to touch upon a few commonly used use cases in today's day and age. And then obviously the buzzword, I'm sure all of you have either start implementing it or in the verge of doing it in the areas of generative AI. So this is overall the small agenda for me. So without wasting time, just getting into the first page that I wanted to discuss. So as I was mentioning, right, EdTech was there before we faced the pandemic, but it was mostly in the starting of the curve of any journey of an industry, right? There were few in the prominent players in the market, and then the others were thinking about it. Sorry. Then we faced the pandemic. What was an option for us became a mandate. And because of that, the edutech market or the industry had a boom, right? because there was no other options to in terms of reaching out to students or students reaching out to faculties. The platform became the importance of paramount, right? How you can reach out to a larger number of students without physically being there. Now I understand the current trend has gone into other sides in terms of there are micro learning, there are personalized content used for specific domain, and so on. But that was the phase that it gave us all to focus into that industry. But post pandemic, again, some things have changed, right? Now we have seen few companies became unicorn. We have seen few companies not being able to cope up with it. And then to survive in the market, what I see today's day and age, most of the edutech companies wants to focus on mainly two things. One is how they can differentiate themselves from the competition, which makes them to be more personalized, more focused on their target audience. And secondly, how can they reduce their operational cost? It can be anything, but a management of like cost management became a very important topic in today's day and age, at least to the customers that I deal with day in, day out. These are the two things come out of it. So that's what I just wanted to mention. Like maybe your priorities are different. We can talk about it post the webinar when we have a Q&A, and I would like to hear from all of you that what is your current focus areas and how best we can address that. But this was just a kind of a trend. So my second in the top agenda was why AWS, right? So just a few lines about the background of it. So AWS started India cloud operation back in 2016. We started focusing, we opened our offices in India and started reaching out to customers, asking them whether they would like to join us in the cloud journey. So we were kind of a early riser in the cloud industry back then. So we obviously have a lot more customers coming in and telling us what their issues were. And AWS by principle, we always work backwards. Basically, so what does that mean is when the customer comes to us and tell us this is my problem, we try to find the solutions for them. We try to create a solutions for them. And that has been the success journey for us. We always listen to our customers and try to create something which caters to their need rather than create something and find a market towards it, right? And that makes AWS uh, I'm sure most of you have heard about Gartner and their magic quadrants. So in the infrastructure as a service and platform as a service, so they have multiple parameters. In these two parameters where IaaS and PaaS, AWS has been ranked number one for 13 consecutive years. So you can understand, like, because we work with numerous number of customers day in, day out, and we innovate our services catering to their customer needs, which gives us the edge from our competition to stand ahead and help our customers before most of the customers seeing that problem, because somebody else has seen it and we have act upon it and created a solution. So the rest of the customers don't have to really face the problem and find a solution. They can have a solution ready, right? So that was advantage. And then in terms of the numbers, if we talk about, here is a slide where you can see that from the packaged offerings which are there in the market, I don't want to name any one of them, but many of you have used it or at least heard about it. They give you a package solutions, but does not help you cater your individual needs. It may be good for your one particular part of your requirement, but the other part of the requirement gets neglected. So in AWS, we help you to reduce the overall cost somewhere close to 10 to 18% from a migration point of view. We have different plans and we can talk one-on-one if you want to know more about it. And then obviously, once you come into AWS, we observe your platform over a period of 2 to 3 months, sometimes more, depending on your complexity, and suggest your optimizations, right? That gives you another 10 to 12% reduction of your infra cost. So that gives you overall 20 to 30% of infra cost reduction by moving into cloud, moving into AWS. Our offerings on the data and storage and content distribution in terms of CDN, content delivery, we have been almost unmatched, right, in terms of the competition outside. Some of you might have used AWS CDN, some of you might have heard about it. We earlier had one region in India, which was Mumbai. Now we have Hyderabad, and each region has multiple data centers. So in terms of the scalability, in terms of the overall content distribution towards your end customers has become seamless without any downtime, any lag, any buffering, right? And AWS holds a reputation in terms of the availability. So our availability is, there is nothing called perfect, right? So there is nothing called 100%, but we are very close to it. We are 99.99999, and there is 7 nines after that. And it is there on our websites, right? I'm not claiming something which is not officially declared. So you don't have to worry about your piece of your business. And this might still not be the enough reason to think about why AWS. As long as it doesn't affect you or your business, right, directly. So we have understood that, and we have created certain campaigns, go-to-market strategies. Obviously, we have huge number of partner networks that enable our customers to retain their students or their customers and improved our customer satisfaction. So you can see, like, we have recent reports showing that we have helped many of our customers uh, at least 25% of customer retention and 15% improvement on their customer satisfaction index. So these are the few major points that I would like to touch upon, where we almost have very less competition in the market. Now, coming to the solution, right? As we are into edtech, we have different segments of business. Now, it is, as I told you earlier, it's morely now micro focused, very personalized, very curated topics to the very targeted audience. But on a general scale, right? On the left hand side, as you can see, we have few platforms which are like bread and butter of the edtech business, right? Like online classes, online examinations. Um, every edtech at least have a learning management systems where they run their overall business, right? Content is something that they're looking for. Then obviously comes to the latest buzz. How can you improve the overall customer experience? And the simple answer is by implementing artificial intelligence. So we have many artificial Gen AI services which will help you to improve your customer interaction as basic as a chatbot to overall content curation, overall content management, question generation, and so on. There are a few slides there where we can talk in detail. Um, but let's go ahead on this slide. Then we obviously have virtual labs. Many of our edtechs have training for their students, right? And they also train cloud technologies. So how do you do the practicals, where we call it like labs? We have curated, dedicated labs, ready to use, where students can come and practice. So that gives them a better edge in terms of what they have read theoretically, how to implement that. Then obviously we have many services to help you to safeguard your business, because I'm sure you have read, faced, or read in the newspaper that many of our edtech part business owners have faced a lot of DDoS attacks, multiple attempts to crash their servers, content got stolen. So all these are a hindrance in your business. We can help you to solve that problem. We obviously, as I mentioned, that we have some of the new solutions for the industry. Sorry, for the industry itself. Um, most of them are related to Gen AI. So you can use some of the AWS services for your content moderation. You can help your student to have a personalized learning. You can also use Amazon Transcribe, Poly, which will basically help you text to speech and changing it into multiple languages, because many of our edtech customers also extend their platform to outside India. So these Gen AI services can help you to use your content in a multiple different way, from a content to questionnaire generation, from summary, making a from a video to summary, and so on, right? So all these services we have created only focusing into the education market in India, to start with, and now it is available across the world. We also help our customers in terms of skilling. As I was telling, many of our customers also train on cloud technologies. So we have uh, different plans and programs where you can use AWS skilling part for your students, like training, certification, and so on. Moving ahead, I just wanted to mention some of the use cases which are very common, right? Some of them I have mentioned in the previous slide. Um, Online learning platforms, right? So that's like a very basic thing that almost every of most of them are using. So AWS can help you to modernize the application and make it um, as much available as you want to in the market, in terms of zero downtime, in terms of implementing new features without compromising on the current infrastructure or having any kind of restrictions in it. You can also use the platform for virtual classrooms, which will, it can be one way, it can be interactive. So we have a new solutions called Amazon IVS, which is basically interactive this platform where faculties and students can have a both way discussions, right? Not a one way communication. We obviously do have a lot of analytics tools which will help you to track your students in terms of where they are focusing, where the students are doing good, where they are not doing good, where you want to focus for particular students. All these analytics can be done on your platform to help you to create or curate your content, your focus, your offerings much more personalized for your end users or students. As I was mentioning, we also can help you in terms of a modernized chatbots. Earlier, it was all content that you feed, and then it is very generic chatbot that you have. But I think most of you already have it, or you are planning to get into that kind of a intelligent chatbotting where student can come and ask a question, and a chatbot can solve most of their problems, right? Where you have a physical teacher is not needed most of the time. So Gen AI's services of AWS can help you to achieve that. And then obviously services like Amazon Poly, Sumerian, all these can help you to curate your audio, video content, and more effectively reaching out to your students. Now, here are two general services where we have helped most of the edtechs. Basically, that was the learning management system. What is the bread and butter of the business? So, uh, LMS is something that most of the edtechs focus a lot in terms of making it more modernized, more sophisticated, more interactive for the students and faculties and the people that they reach out to. So that can be deployed on AWS, and AWS services can help you to achieve your goal in terms of making your LMS more customer friendly, more user accepted, more sophisticated in the market by using many tools, dashboarding, and so on, right? Online classes, I think it's now a kind of an old topic right now. There are many things that online classes have gone into that, like I mentioned, interactive classes. Some of the edtechs use third-party tools, but then they cannot rebrand it under their name. But AWS gives you white labeling solutions where you can rebrand that platform under your company's name. So it is not X or Y or Z, it is your platform that you train your students on. So that will give you a brand advantage rather than I'm using X platform or a Y platform, right? It is your platform. And obviously, the Gen AI piece where I think many of us are focusing, and many of us, if not, should focus, because that what makes your company different from your competition. So it will help you to in terms of personalized learning, virtual assistant, automated content modernization, feedbacking, grading, language translation, and so on, right? And for each of these topics, we have services which can help you to achieve what you are looking for, the edge in the market, the differentiating factors that you offer to your students or customers that your competition has not has like have that today, or you are ahead of the curve, you're implementing something which will give you that kind of a special effect for your students. Okay, and that, okay, this is very interactive, or this is something that I really want, from a content to question, right? Sometimes many of our customers have dedicated people to create questionnaire from content. I think some of you can relate it, right? But Gen AI can do that without, it's not about resource expenditure, it's about time. From a content to a questionnaire generation, if it takes, and it is not one time, right? You have courses coming in every month, every week, every quarter. So if it takes so much time to create questionnaire from a content, it's not needed. AI service can do that, and you can recreate question if you don't like it, or the difficulty layers of questions can be created from a easy to medium, hard to hard. All that can be done by using a virtual uh, assistant, which is like basically Gen AI. So there are many, this was just an example, right? So there are many more important things that those people can focus on rather than creating a questionnaire. So, or grading or something like that, right? The translation of languages, maybe from English to Hindi or Hindi to English. So that can make your job easy, faster, go to market much smoother. And that's what we are aiming to do, to help you to grow, because that's the only way AWS can grow also, by growing, by helping their customers to grow further. That's all pretty much from my side. Before I say, I pass it on to my next speaker. This is not exactly a updated slide, but as you can see, right, we have started um, much before than most of our competitions in the market, and that's why most of the names that you can see are pretty famous in this in the Indian market, and all of them and many more of them are using AWS. So that was makes us a bit ahead of the curve, and that was given us the opportunity to reach out to the customers and tell them that we can help you in terms of your journey, because we have done that for your many of the previous companies and your competitions in today's day and age too. So that's all from my end. Over to you, Kamini.
Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you so much for such an insightful session. This will definitely be helpful for the attendees from EdTech industry. Moving forward, uh, we will have a poll time. So I'll shoot a poll. I'll shoot a poll, and you will have 45 seconds to answer it. I'll request everyone to participate. It is just few seconds. So here is the poll. You can see the questions at your screen. Have you previously used AWS Cloud services for your organization's IT need? The options are yes, we are current AWS user. No, but we are considering AWS. No, we use other cloud providers. And the last one is no, we are currently using any other cloud services. So you'll have 20 more seconds. I'll encourage everyone to participate. We would love to know your answers and where you stand in the cloud journey. Just 10 seconds, 5 seconds more. 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll end the poll here and share the results very soon. Interesting. I can see the diversified answers here. Just sharing the results. So 70% of you are already on AWS. That's a good news for you, Abhishek, and for us as well. And I can see 18% of you are not using any cloud. There is a good news for you. We are here to help you in your cloud journey. You can anytime reach out to us. proceeding ahead with the session, I would now request Suraj to take it over from here. Suraj, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Kamini. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Suraj. Thanks, Abhishek, for sharing your experience and brief about AWS Cloud expertise in education environment. Now, I am excited to present information about enreap. Let's explore what makes enreap special for your organization. Here, enreap is the participate in the client digital transformation journey. enreap helps the companies achieve the operational delivery excellence by realizing the optimal productivity for their teams. We help the business achieve sustainable competitive advantage by invention and executing technology enable operation strategy, be it agile, traditional or multi-ID expertise. We have offices and teams across India, Singapore, Dubai, and USA. We have served the 400 plus customers across 10 plus industries in over 10 years. We provide the four major solutions that is Agile and Devops, ITSM, PPM, and Cloud. We share the premium and advanced partnership with Atlassian, AWS, PlanView, JetBrain, Monday.com, JFrog, GitLab, and so on, Sonar Source also. Now coming to the customer logos, we have the broad range of customer. I quickly glance of customer across industries. We have worked for HDFC, Quanta, Airtel, HDFs, Hoya, TCS, and many more. Coming to the INRIP AWS solution, INRIP offer the wide range of services to support your cloud journey. Our offering includes cloud consulting and designing, cloud migration, DevOps and SRE, and managed services. Each services is designed to address specific need and ensure a smooth transaction to the cloud. Let's start with the overview of the INRIP approach. The process starts with the discover phase, continue to the define and do phase, and end with the manage phase. With each phase including the specific activities to create thoughts cloud strategy. In the discover phase, here we here we focus on understanding your cloud capabilities and identify the gaps through the benchmarking. This step, this step is prepare for customized cloud strategy that fit your business goal. In in the next define, here we turn to finding the discover phase into the practical solution. This phase is critical to developing the scalable cloud architecture. In the next do phase, here we move into the execution mode. Our team handles the implementation of the defined solution, optimize the existing process, and oversees the migration to the cloud. In the last manage phase, here we focus on ongoing support and maintenance. We provide the helpdesk support, continuous maintenance, and evergreen to keep your system up to date. Also, INRIP offer the wide range of services to support cloud journey. Our offering includes cloud consulting and design, cloud migration, DevOps and SRE, and managed services. Each service is designed to address specific need, ensure a smooth transaction to the cloud. Coming to the main topic of our today's discussion, that is migration for the AgTech industry. These are the several key aspects to consider where migration to AWS. This include database migration, application migration, server migration, cloud to cloud migration, and hybrid migration. Each aspect addresses the different component of your IT infrastructure and ensure the comprehensive migration strategy. Here, cloud migration is divided into six phases, each addressing specific aspect of the migration process. First, cloud assessment phase. We evaluate the cost to understand the financial impact of the check security to protect data. Second phase is the proof of concept phase, where we create the test project to try out the migration process. Third, data migration phase. Here we evaluate the cost and understand the financial impact and check the security to protect data. Sorry. Third is data migration phase. We explore the AWS migration option and move data from current system to the cloud. And fourth, application migration phase. Here we crafting the application migration strategy involving the balancing between the on-premises and cloud environment. Fifth, leverage the cloud phase. Here we use the cloud flexibility and adjust the resource according to demand. And the last, optimization phase is about improving the how cloud resources are used, continuously monitoring and turning performance to take the advantage of cloud native capabilities. There are various strategies to approach cloud migration. This includes rehosting, replatforming, repurchasing, refactoring or re-architecting, retaining, and last, retaining. Coming to the case study, let's discuss the real life use case AgTech industry that we have successful migrated from on-premises server to AWS cloud. This migration aimed to enhance their infrastructure, security, scalability, reliability, and cost effectiveness. The goal of the migration project was move the on-premise web application and MySQL database to AWS cloud. Customer identified the many challenges with the current on-premises infrastructure like performance issue due to the different geographic location, scaling difficulties to handle the increase the load, high performance cost and high maintenance cost, lack of redundancy, increase the risk of failure, increase the vulnerability to threat, insufficient disaster recovery solution, and frequently downtime and reliability issue. To address these challenges, customers migrate to the AWS cloud. In the solution, the migration process was did into three phases. First, pre-migration phase. Here we did the assessment and planning. Next, actual migration. Here we set up the AWS environment and migrated application and databases to the AWS cloud. In the last, post-migration. Here we did testing and monitoring and also provide the training to the customer. Now last come to the migration result, that is outcome. Customer improve the productivity by 15%. Customer use the AWS storage and solution and achieve the 30% reduction in cloud requirement. AWS monitoring and management tool gives customer 35% faster identification and resolution of issues. Reliable and scalable infrastructure help customer achieve 40% reduction in SLA bridges. Also, AWS pay as you go model and optimize the resource. Customer give cost saving up to 25%. Automated backup and management tasks. Customer reduce the manual workload by 50%. Coming to the architecture diagram. Now we will see the architecture design for the active customer. This architecture focus on migrating on-premises resource to AWS cloud. We start with the on-premise environment. In the left side of the diagram, here we have server and SQL database. Server, it hosts the various application and data, and MySQL database manage the dedicated database servers. To facilitate the migration, we deploy the AWS replication agent on both application server and database server. This agent handle the replication of data to the AWS environment. For securing for secure and reliable communication between on-premise environment and AWS, we establish the site-to-site VPN connection. This VPN ensure that data is securely transmitted over the internet to the AWS cloud. Moving to the right side of the diagram, we have AWS cloud setup located in Mumbai region. The architecture is divided into two subnets, public and private. In the public subnet, we have staging area and migrated resource. In the staging area, it includes the replication instance and volume where we replicate the data is temporarily stored. This instance continuously replicated data from on-premise server to the staging area using the AWS replication services. After the replication is completed, the cutover happens and the replicated data is moved to the migrated resource section. Here we have cutover EC2 instance and volumes. This instance and volumes are the migrated version of the on-premises server. In the private subnet, we have staging area and migrated RDS. This staging area similar to the public subnet. This area contains the replication instance managed by AWS Database Migration Services. For the database replication, also we also here migration replication task. This task handle the actual data migration process, ensuring the data consistency and integrity. Once the migration is completed, the data is stored in the migrated RDS section. Also, we use the several AWS services support to this architecture, like IAM, CloudWatch, Route 53, S3. IAM used for the identity and access management, CloudWatch for monitoring the resource and provide the logs and metrics, Route 53 for manage the DNS routing, and S3 provide the storage for backup and other needs. Thank you. Kamini, over to you.
Thank you, Suraj. Thank you for taking us through the real life case of EdTech industry. Again, it's poll time. So I would request everyone to participate. It is the second poll. The question will be in few seconds in front of your screen. So here is the question. What is your biggest concern regarding migrating your EdTech platform to the cloud? Security of data, downtime during migration, complexity of the migration process, or any other? I would request everyone to participate. We would love to know your concern so that we can cater it in better way. 30 more seconds left. Yes, you can participate. Everyone can participate. Just 10 more seconds left. Okay, the results are good, scattered. So I would end the poll here and share the result in a while. You can see the result here. 35% of you are concerned about the cost of migration. Well, maybe our cloud experts can tell you how you can optimize your cost when coming to cloud. And we have 24% of you who are concerned about the security. Well, this is also well handled at AWS. Moving forward, I would request Vaibhav to take the session from here. Vaibhav, over to you.
Thanks, Kamini. Kamini, just confirm it's visible.
Yes, it's visible, Vaibhav.
Yeah. So, Crayon is a distributor for AWS in India. So, what we do actually is like we work with partners like enreap, right, to help the customers to start their cloud journey, or if they have already started the cloud journey, to help to accelerate that cloud journey and to the next level. So, what we have done is that uh, with our experience working with our uh, channel partners like enreap along with AWS, that there are some ISVs. So what is our definition on ISV is that the any organization which has created their developed their own application, and so these are like ISVs for us. So what we have done is that there should be a, because there are many concerns, right, when you have built your application and maybe you are moving to cloud, right? So like last poll, there are many concerns, right? So what we are trying to do is that we have set up some framework where we will help the ISVs to enable them and to move their applications to cloud. So this is our Crayon ISV desk. So what we do that we understand the ISVs, what is their application. Maybe it can be a B2B application or it can be a B2C application, and maybe it can be a multi-tier application, right? So what we help the ISV is that to move their application on AWS. So before moving, we understand what is the application. We will do a free assessment for you, understand what kind of services would be required on AWS, which will help in streamlining the application as well as reducing the cost for you on the cloud. So there are three segments, right? So it's a life cycle and account management. Like when you move to AWS, what will be the life cycle for your application, as well as what it will affect on your customers or users of your application. So in this process, you would need the pre-sales and technical assistance, right? So we, along with enreap, will help you on the pre-sales part, like understanding your current environment and what would be the AWS value proposition which will fit in your case, and what will be the AWS bomb, so that you will be able to understand what exactly you will be paying for AWS services when we move to AWS. So this team will be helping in preparing the BOQ. Also, we have a cloud migration and deployment team. So once we finalize the bomb, right? So another major challenge you would have, that the migration. So we have a team which will help in this migration and deployment, also the post migration support as well. So we have 45 plus team, pan India, so which will support our ISVs. And so we have in that 20 dedicated ISV technical and cloud specialist, and 25 team who helps the our ISVs also to grow their business. So what we can do is that once we move your application to AWS, right? So we will have one-on-one discussion. We will plan for some GTM activities also. So depending on application, right? If you have a B2B application focused on maybe the institutes, right? So we will have a discussion with you one-on-one, plan a GTM activity, maybe the kind of webinars, right? So we will invite these institutes where you will show your value proposition of your application, right? So this will help you also acquiring new customers. So we are not proposing just moving on AWS your application. We will help in your journey in reaching at a next level as your application to most of the customers. So there is AWS foundational technical review. Now, when you move your application to AWS, uh, right now it will be like lift and shift, right? But there is a AWS well architected framework where we can check how exactly your application is hosted on AWS. So we do the foundational technical review of your application. So we have a specialized team trained by AWS team who helps in doing this review. So this is a free of cost for all the ISVs which will be moving to moving their application on AWS. And what we do is that we check on the operational excellence, security, reliability, performance efficiency, cost optimization, and sustainability. These are like pillars of well architected framework of AWS. So once you get this completed, right? So what AWS does is that AWS will check on what are the things are required as a best practices. Have you implemented on your infrastructure on AWS? They will review it if there are any changes to be done, right, from a security perspective, because this is the application which you're selling to your customers, where customers have their data on this application, right? So security is most prominent for your customers as well. So we can help in this completing FTR, where it will be helpful for you as well when you're selling your application to your customers, right? So this will be like value addition, that it is a FTR approved application by AWS as well. So yeah, so why does the FTR is required, right? So building trust to your customers, then mitigate the business risks, right? So when we are discussing on security, operational resilience, so we are reducing the risk happening in the future. So it's a self-service process. So we will help you on the process how needs to be done once it's migrated. And this, if you see at the bottom, right, AWS partner qualified software. So this is the badge you receive once you qualified for the FTR. So this will also help in like your marketing campaigns, in your marketing collaterals, show that as a AWS qualified software.
Again,
Yeah,
it's the
Kamini.
poll time. I believe this is the last poll of the session. I'll shoot the poll in a minute, and I would request everyone to participate. Here is the poll in front of you. Oh, we have 2 questions in this poll. Would you like to connect for a one-on-one session with AWS consultant? Please participate. Our AWS team will reach out to you for one-on-one session. Then we have, are you interested in AWS free FTR offer? I would request everyone to participate without any miss in this discussion, because then we'll get to know who all are interested in FTR. Then our team will reach out to you. As we have said, it will achieving an FTR tag will give you more reliability and will create more trust for your customer. Just 3 more seconds left. I hope everyone have participated. I'll end the poll now. So the results are on your screen. 53% of you are interested in one-on-one session. Definitely our team will reach out to you. And 64% are interested in FTR offer. Where you have to reach out to these 64% people.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving forward, we have the window is open for Q&A session now. I would request everyone to participate and ask questions. We already have some questions here. So it is from Anil. Which AWS tool and storage options are recommended for a smooth transition of your EdTech applications from on-premise infrastructure to the cloud? Maybe Abhishek, you can take this question.
Sure, I can answer that. So there is no one size fits all kind of a solution, right? We need to understand your type of database or storage that you currently use, what data is often used, what data you just keep it for audit purpose or maybe later use. So we have different type of storage, which is focusing into different kind of a need. So if you want to know a bit more about what suits your business, we need to understand your business and your data before we can recommend anything. So if you just go to Google and type AWS S3, it will open up a page where it is help you to in terms of what kind of a storage options we have. And there you will see different types of storage that will give you more clarity to understand. If you have more questions, I can get on to a one-on-one discussion with you and help you out to have better answer on that. Hope that helps.
Thank you, Abhishek. We have another question coming from Vaishali. Beyond the cost saving, we are also interested in improving student engagement. How can AWS services help us personalize the learning experience and make it more attractive, more interactive? Are there any specific tools or services you would recommend exploring?
Yeah, very good question, Vaishali. So definitely, we have many things that we can offer you on this lines, right? So when you mention something about student engagement, right? Engagement can be different for different custom companies, right? Some can be more time spending on your platform. Something can be more in terms of personalized learning. Something can be a differentiating factor from your competition. So in all these areas, we can help you. Starting from your content, how can you curate your content more customized, more to the point to your end users? We have multiple tools to get you that kind of an edge on that. Some of the names were mentioned on my presentations. Lex Poly, you can use GenAI, which is like Amazon Bedrock or Amazon Q, to help your content more sophisticatedly. Then obviously, in terms of platform, we have services which can help you to track your student behavior on your platform, right? To understand your student better and cater their needs individually, one-to-one. So there also we can help you out. There are many tools that we can talk on that line. So to it can be a 15 minutes to a half an hour discussion on that particular topic. So I don't want to get too deep, but then definitely yes. If you want to have a full-fledged discussions, um, you can reach out to me and we can have a deeper engagement on that. But yes, we can help you out on your platform, content, and student interaction in the market. So yes, for all of them.
Thank you, Abhishek. I hope this answers Vaishali's question. Then another question from Anga. Do we require any downtime or data loss during the migration?
Okay,
Suraj.
this also I can answer. I think
Yes.
most of you, anybody can answer. But then, yeah. So there is so not everything can be done lift and shift. Okay, Akash. So I understand you are running a production unit somewhere, right? And if you want to migrate to a new environment, there are only two options. On a broader level, there are many micro level answers. Vaibhav will tell me that there are many, but then on a large level, there are only two, right? One is lift and shift, and the second is creating a replica and shutting down the previous one. In the first option, if it is a lift and shift, there is a downtime. There is nothing that can deny that. If you create a replica and implement in a new platform, there is no downtime, but then there's a like two platforms you are using, right? To a one set of customers. So it depends on your use case. It depends on how you want to migrate. Again, there is no one size fits all kind of answer, but there is definitely no data loss. We can take care of the data part. Our partners are very capable of migrating. They're in the industry for a long while. They have done it for many of our customers. So there is no data loss that you have to worry about. But yeah, downtime, we need to see how best you can do that, because there is time, cost, and manpower involved in a migration, right? So based on the all three factors, there can be yes, there can be no. But yeah, not every time there is a downtime. To answer that question.
Thank you, Abhishek. We have another question from Preetam Prasoon, and that is, how can we ensure data privacy aspects of monolithic single database applications where data is expected to live in specific regions only while the site is accessible worldwide? Maybe Abhishek, you can answer this question, or
Yeah. So again, this is a bit technical answers. We cannot get you a full answer in like a 2-3 minutes. We need to study your environment. We have solution architects who can oversee the overall platform and what you are looking to achieve, and we can help you out with the best practices. So very good question, but I think we have very less time to answer a detailed answer on this. So Preetam, please do reach out to me with the same question, and we can have a separate discussion with our architect on a technical grounds. I will definitely help you out on that.
thank you, Abhishek. Maybe we can connect later with Preetam for one-on-one discussion. Another question from Palash Sinha. Do you have any use case on digital twins in EdTech from AI perspective?
Yeah, so Palash, definitely yes. The only concern is not every of our use cases are referenceable. So I can't take names right now. I hope you understand that. But if you're looking for a case study, like what has gone through and how best we have helped them, again, I can share you that. Maybe not over an email, but we can definitely get on a chat and I can explain what we have done and what the customers were looking for. We can get that information passed to you. But yeah, we may not be able to share you the details of the entity, depending on the sensitivity of the data and in terms of the privacy of it. So yeah, I hope you understand that point.
Thank you, Abhishek. One last question we can take because we have just 4 minutes left. It is again from Palash. Can you also cover how the ROI was achieved here? He mean to say ROI achieved while migrating, while migration. Maybe Suraj can take this question because it is related to Suraj because he has showcased the migration case.
Yes, Kamini. In the investment in the AWS infrastructure resulted in higher return due to the improve the performance and reduction operational cost. That's we get the ROI for this.
Thank you, Suraj.
Kamini,
Yes,
I would like to add a few more points which Suraj has mentioned, right?
we would love to.
So yeah, so what happens, plus that when we see on a first level perspective, like what we are spending on a infrastructure on premise maybe, and what we are spending on AWS, it would not be a right thing to compare just cost perspective. Because for example, if you move your application on AWS, and then maybe after FTR assessment you move your application to AWS marketplace, then you have a more visibility of a market. So that is something you get a more business as well, right? So I would suggest that whenever we are taking an ROI perspective, uh, we need to take that perspective also, that after taking that decision, is there is a chance of growth of your business as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Vaibhav. I hope this answers Bilash's question. Uh, I think the rest of the question we can uh, take later, or we will definitely answer this question via email. Now I think we are at the end of the session. I thank you all once again for joining us today for this informative session on maximizing efficiency and innovation in your EdTech platforms with AWS Cloud. We have covered a lot of ground today, from the transformative potential of cloud-powered education to the technical aspects of migrating your platform to AWS. If you're considering migrating your EdTech platform on AWS Cloud, I encourage you to take advantage of the FTR that Vaibhav has mentioned. A huge thanks to our speakers for the day. Thank you, Vaibhav, thank you, Suraj and Abhishek, for such an insightful session. We hope this session has been helpful and informative. Thank you again for your time and good luck on your EdTech journey.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks,
Thanks
Kamini.
everyone.